Good afternoon. Parliament says Archbishop Desmond Tutu remained faithful to his calling of being of service to the people. The institution says he was a servant of God and a spiritual leader who fought fiercely against apartheid. The Archbishop was usually among the dignitaries invited by Parliament to the State of the Nation address. The institution says he remained a true patriot and a fearless leader who led from the front even in times of difficulty. It says he was unapologetic and spoke truth to power no matter the circumstances. National Assembly Speaker Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula and NCOP Chairperson Amos Masondo say Tutu laid a solid foundation for peace and reconciliation in the country. They say on the day that former President Nelson Mandela was going to be elected in the National Assembly as the first democratic president, the Arch introduced him to crowds at the balcony at the City Hall in Cape Town. This is the same balcony where Mandela delivered his first speech as a free man on the 11th of February 1990. Archbishop Thabo Makgoba today announced a series of events leading up to the Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu's funeral on Saturday. The city of Cape Town will host an interfaith service on Wednesday. The Arch will then lie in state on Friday in the St. George's Cathedral. Makgoba has appealed to everyone to attend memorials at their own parishes in order to adhere to COVID-19 protocols. The Arch passed away yesterday morning in Cape Town at the age of 90.
The funeral will take place here, and it is here where his ashes will also be interred. But expect announcements in the next day or two from other churches and institutions of state and non-governmental organizations about their events. We know the following main events. The City of Cape Town will host an interfaith memorial service at 6 p.m. on Wednesday. They will announce full details themselves. The Diocese of the Highveld, which is where Archbishop Desmond started his ministry, he started in Benoni. So that part of the Anglican family will hold its memorial service at 6 p.m. On Wednesday. They will also announce the full details, but the service will be at St. Dunstan's Anglican Cathedral. In the Diocese of Kimberley and Kuruma, at the Cathedral in Kimberley, St. Cyprian's Cathedral, there will be another ecumenical service on Wednesday at 10 a.m. And the Diocese of Pretoria will hold an ecumenical and interfaith service at 11 a.m. on Thursday at St. Albans Cathedral. And they too will announce full details themselves. The Diocese of Johannesburg, where the Archbishop was the first black dean, will also hold a memorial service at St. Mary's Cathedral in Johannesburg at 11 a.m. on Thursday. And they too will announce their full details, and we will post most of these in the Anglican Church of Southern Africa's website. Now, the Archbishop Desmond Tutu IP Trust and the Desmond and Leah Tutu Legacy Foundation will host an event in Cape Town on Thursday evening. And St. Mary's Cathedral in Gqeberha will hold a memorial service at 10 a.m. on Friday. Other cathedrals in other cities, as far as Lesotho, Swaziland, Namibia, St. Helena, will also announce their memorial services in the coming days. Two important points to note. Final details will come from those institutions themselves and they are subject to change. And two, this is very important, especially for the church community. Please attend services in your local communities and parishes. Our list of possible attendees at the funeral run to 400 or 500 names and more than hundreds of clergy. But COVID regulations restrict attendance at funerals to a maximum of 100, and we must respect that. Only a fraction of those who want to be there can be accommodated in the cathedral. So please don't get into a bus to Cape Town. We have arranged those cathedrals and the local parishes so that we cater for your needs.
Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu's neighbours in Soweto have reflected on his passing, describing him as a father, a community activist and a people's person who was forever smiling. Tutu passed away at his home in Cape Town at the age of 90 yesterday. Let's find out more about what his neighbours in Cape Town had to say about the Archbishop. We now cross to our reporter Mariska Buerta, who's outside the Tutu residence there. Very good afternoon to you, Mariska. Tell us what you're seeing that side.
Good afternoon to you. Yes, you're right. There has been a few visitors here this morning. Yesterday we saw some of the neighbours and local community members coming to pay their respects. But today the Mayor of Cape Town was one of the first to come give his condolences. He spent some time with Marleya. He told us they said a prayer together, and he said it was an honour for him to come to the residence and thank her for his life and to give her the assurance that the people of Cape Town are with them in this time of sorrow. Imtiaz Suleiman, the chairman and founder of Gift of the Givers, also came to pay his respects just a little while ago, telling us that he spent time with Marleya as well. He had a very close relationship with the Archbishop, recalling the time he met him as a younger man. He said to us they were so nervous to meet Archbishop Tutu because his name was so big. This man was at the forefront leading the fight against apartheid. And Dr. Suleiman said he was very nervous to meet him. But of course, Desmond Tutu is very disarming with that smile of his, that warm embrace. And that's exactly how the Archbishop greeted Imtiaz Suleiman for the first time. And he says that's how their working relationship with the Anglican Church really started. And that's how Gift of the Givers managed to do projects with the Anglican Church as well on a very large scale. He said, of course, it's a great loss for the entire world to lose a man like Desmond Tutu. Of course, Gift of the Givers is one of the foremost aid organizations on the continent at the very least and known around the world. And he said it's men like Archbishop Desmond Tutu whose example must be followed and must be learned from. And Suleiman also said that meeting with Tutu, Desmond Tutu, who's an Anglican, and Dr. Imtiaz Suleiman, who is Muslim, he said that also bridged the gap between the faiths, and that people understand that working together and doing good does not depend on the certain faith that you follow, but that humanity must be served as a whole, as a coming together. Of course, later today we expect the President, Cyril Ramaphosa, to come meet Marleya in person to pay his respects. We have not been told what time that will happen, but we do understand it will happen sometime this afternoon. At this point in time, it's quiet at the house, but every now and again you'll see someone coming up with a bunch of flowers, just coming to say hello. But right now it's quiet, and we await to see what time the President will make his way to the home here in Molnate.
Mariska, you know, since the news has broken, we have heard world leaders, former leaders, captains of industry paying their respects to the Archbishop Tutu. But now I understand that you've maybe had a chance to speak to some of his neighbours who maybe haven't experienced the large name, but the neighbour, the person that they live next door to, and perhaps a very different experience there.
Not at all. Desmond Tutu was the same with everyone. He was the same with the person living down the street as he is with the world leader. He treated everyone exactly the same. As we speak now, we see here, it seems like this could be the President's cavalcade. We are not sure exactly who that is. Let's just see if we can find out. Just a moment. Benny? We are trying to establish who is there. My colleague Pam Zakufa is zooming in so that we can see who is visiting. We do know that the President himself will make a turn here today. We are just waiting to see who is here. It is a big motorcade, and we do know that the President has confirmed his presence here. Let's just see. We're just moving a little bit to see if we can see better. Just a moment there to establish who it is. We're just waiting to see who makes their way down the driveway towards the home. They've come with an escort. It does not seem like it is President Cyril Ramaphosa. We have not seen the emblem on his car, on his vehicle. We will try to establish as soon as we can who is visiting. But the whole day, people will be coming and going. We were told that, as you say, political leaders, leaders in society, captains of industry will make their way towards the home to come say or show their respects. On your question earlier, how he was with his neighbors, like I said, he was the same with everyone. It didn't matter who the person was, whether it was the president of the country or any particular country, or the person who lives down the street. He treated everyone the same. And of course, he didn't shy away from speaking out and speaking up, especially to those in power. He was not afraid to speak his mind. And as Imtiaz Suleiman told us earlier as well, he would call a thing by its name, speak the truth, but he was always gentle with people, understanding that the human condition is very real for everyone. Just seen Benny Gould escorting the visitors into the home to come pay their respects to Malia.
Thanks, Mariska, for that update, giving us an update outside Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu's home. Mariska is going to be there for a while and giving us updates, as you heard her saying. President Cyril Ramaphosa also expected to come and pay his respects.